Action. What is up, guys? I hope everybody is having a beautiful day. Today, the topic at hand is depression. So I wrote a few notes to make sure that I get everything perfectly and don't miss a beat of what I want to talk about. Move the mic a little closer. So the deal with depression is that it is a mood disorder that causes persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest in anything and everything that you do in life. So depression affects how you behave and think. It's a terrible disease, honestly. I think it is a huge disease and it's something that should be taken very seriously. But at the same time, I believe that it's something that you can work with and take care of and pretty much destroy like an opponent that is with you in the ring. A lot of the causes of depression are childhood trauma, anything that you went through as a child, experiences, things that may have happened to you, things that people may have done to you, or things that you have seen in front of your eyes. Physical health problems. So let's say an athlete breaks his leg and can't even play football anymore, can't play a sport anymore, so he's done. He or she has to hang up their shoes and they can't play anymore. They're done. Their career is over. That's going to cause some depression, especially if they love the game very much and they were a person that is very physically active and depended on physical activity to be their best self mentally and physically. Another really big disruptor is sleep, diet, and exercise. That can completely ruin your life. If you don't get enough sleep, if your diet is completely messed up, you're eating all this fast food that is going to mess you up in the long run if you eat it every single day. Be picky. Because if you're going to eat like that every single day, that can screw you up. That can screw your mind up. That could literally mess up some of your internal organs or clog them to the point where you're just not thinking straight. Your gut, that's your second brain, and that actually dictates how a lot of the thoughts in your mind work. Diet, exercise. So exercise, if you're not exercising a lot, if you're not exercising enough, or you never have exercised in your life, that can be a big disruptor that can really mess you up and cause you to be depressed without you even realizing what the problem is, because you're not used to working out. You're not used to going for walks. You're not used to going on hikes. You're not used to moving your body. You're not used to doing yoga. You're not used to stretching, none of that. So your body is stiff. And so therefore your mind is stiff. Your mind is just, you don't know how to think correctly. You don't know how to, the blood is not flowing well enough in your body for you to even think about something like that, for you to even think straight or think in a healthy way. So it's very important to move your body. And another disruptor of depression is genetic inheritance. So your parents were very depressed and it trickled down to you. That one, it's a very big possibility, because everything that you do as you're growing up and as you're an adult will affect your children. Even if they don't see you, it can still affect your children, because that's just how genetics work. If your parents were drug addicts, there's a chance of you becoming a drug addict. Yeah, you can change your life, or you could just never go down that path. It's possible, but things tend to happen like that. So it's possible. So my personal experience with depression is that my main cause for depression was environmental factors. So one of the main things also was lack of positive role models in my life. Childhood traumas that affected me in many ways. So things that I've seen and things that I've gone through. So those things kind of warped the way that I saw the world. It just really affected how I made sense of everything that I seen in the world. It was really hard to see things in a healthy way until I realized that this was happening to me, and I changed everything around me. I changed everything inside of me, really. I went inside to fix the outside. If you grow up with childhood trauma and it's really affecting how you make sense of the world, it's hard to even realize that things may not be what they seem. It's hard to just like put yourself outside of yourself and then go back inside of yourself so you can see how the world truly is. You know, a lot of people think the world is a very negative place, but that's not necessarily the case, because for a negative, you also need a positive. So there's a lot of positives and there's a lot of negatives. But personally, I believe that there is more positive in this world than there is negative. Because I've just seen a lot of good things in the world. I've seen a lot of bad things, of course. But I've seen, as I grew up and I became more free with my movement and with my mind, I went around different lands and I've seen many good things, many good people. I've met people that have changed my life in many different ways. Many people that are actually a big part of who I am today and why I am so passionate about life and why I am so in love with life. So, yeah, move around, meet different people. Because if you live in a small town, it's very easy to be depressed because you see a lot of negativity. You're around a lot of negative people. You're around people that are the same no matter what. They never change. They never want to change. They never want to become better. They never even think that they can become better, or they never think that someone around them could be better. And truthfully, a lot of them don't want people around them to be better. They want everybody to be negative, crabs in a barrel, pulling each other down. A lot of small towns have that mindset, and a lot of them don't want to get out of that mindset. Even though they say they want to do something, they never really try. Life, it's much easier to maneuver around life than people think. You just have to break your patterns. You can't be doing the same thing and expect a different thing to come out of it. And depression, it's a very touchy topic, because say the wrong thing and you might really hurt somebody. And people are very emotional. Humans are emotional creatures. People can walk around, act all stoic and everything, but to a sense, things get to you because we all have hearts. We all have minds. We were all children at some point. So we all have feelings. Other people are more emotional than others. I'm not saying tiptoe around people's feelings, but at the same time, be considerate and try to help somebody. If there's somebody in your life that's depressed and it's not you, try to help them. Try to make them understand. Try. And if they won't, then that means that they're not ready. They're just not ready to move on to the next level. They're not ready to become their true self, because their true self is not depressed. Their true self is not depression. Your true self was you when you were a child. You want to laugh. You want to be happy. You want to be hugged. You want to be loved. Everybody in the world wants to be loved. There's not one single person in this world that doesn't want to be loved. And that's a fact. Every man in this world wants to be loved. and cared for. Every woman in this world wants to be loved and cared for. A lot of the things that cause depression now, I would say a loud minority of people that are very toxic. And I mean people that talk about mistreating women, mistreating men, being toxic to people in relationships. Men deserve less. Women deserve less. I think that is a loud minority of people. Because for the most part, I believe that most human beings want to care about each other and want to be cared for. I'm sure some people are just doing it for clout, and they're just doing it to get numbers on, Instagram, YouTube, socials, whatever. But for the most part, people want to be loved. And there's nothing wrong with loving people, because you could be saving somebody's life just by telling them they look nice today, or just by giving them a hug, or just telling them that you can talk to them, or they can talk to you. There's a lot of negativity that is outlined because it goes viral. And that makes the majority of people believe that most people are that toxic, when it's not true. I believe that a very small percentage of people are toxic, very small percentage, but they're just outlined. And then it just spreads fear to people's hearts because they don't want to be hurt. They don't want to get hurt by somebody. And that's just the wrong way to go. And that causes a lot of depression, because people then think, damn, I really like that person, but what if they just want to hurt me? That causes a lot of depression in this world. I believe that's one of the main causes of depression right now, actually. And we've got to change the conversation. We've got to change all the conversations. We got to spread more positivity around loving people, around loving everybody. We've got to spread more positivity around being there for each other, because we want people to be there for us. I'm a super strong man. I'm very intelligent, and I love to fight. I love to wrestle. I love to lift weights, and I love to do crazy things. But at the same time, I just want to be loved. And I just want to love somebody. I just want to love people around me. It's not even a conversation of like masculinity or femininity. It's none of that. It's just about love. Lack of love is a huge factor in why most people are depressed. So the effects of depression are huge. This is why you need to deal with depression as soon as you can. The effects can be serious health issues like disease, relationship troubles, so like toxic relationships, drug dependency, alcohol abuse, prescription drug abuse, recreational drug abuse especially. And then it can cause people to just be done with everything. If you know what I mean. It can cause people to just be done and want to just finish, which is actually it's really sad, because when you think about things like that, it's like that person just wanted to be loved and appreciated. Maybe they just weren't around the right people. Maybe they didn't know how to seek out their tribe because they had too many mental blocks telling them that they're not good enough. That's just like negative energy, like talking to them, talking in their mind. That's what that is. It's like not you, your mind is not you. Your mind is just limitations that other people have put onto you. You are not that voice in your head telling you that you're not enough, telling you that you ain't shit, telling you that you're not smart, telling you that you're not beautiful. It's not you. It's because people have told you those things throughout your life just to break you down because they didn't think that they were good enough. It's like a nasty cycle of just people constantly putting others down because they don't think that they're good enough for whatever reason. That's when we go back to the part when we were talking about childhood trauma. That's when we go back to environmental issues, environmental troubles, lack of positive role models. So the conclusion to this video and the conclusion to our discussion right now would be, I think that people that are depressed should seek help, whether it may be from family members, friends, counselors, whoever. Maybe a support group that you find on Facebook and you guys can meet up and talk in person and just, let it out. Go on hikes together and just talk about life. Take turns talking about life. And then you realize that you have many things in common that will help you come to a greater realization that you're not alone. You're not alone. And you've got many beautiful things to offer. And a lot of people are rooting for you. Support groups, man. Things like that. Another thing would be to change your diet. Eat more whole foods. Eat more fruits, eat more vegetables. Just eat food that is good for you. Eat food that is rich in minerals and vitamins. Also, regular exercise will completely help you with depression. Moving your body, doing yoga, doing Pilates, going swimming. Tire yourself out physically a little bit so you can come home and be like, whew, dang, I had a long day. That was intense. And you just lay in bed or whatever and just have a good night's sleep. After the workout, you want to go and get a very healthy and good, nutritious meal filled with proteins, vitamins, minerals, key ingredients, superfoods, things like that. Just health, wellness is very affected by the way you breathe, how deep your breath is, how much you breathe. Do you breathe into your lungs or do you breathe into your belly? Into your gut, where the second brain is? Do you give your second brain nutritious oxygen? Because the deeper you breathe, the more you feed the cells in your body with nutritious oxygen. Another thing would be to try different art forms, like pick up a camera, start doing photography. Start painting by yourself or even with friends. Try making music, vocals, instruments, beats. Start making your own clothes. The last thing that I believe is very, very helpful is supplements. Supplementing as well as eating a good diet will help you become a better version of yourself. It'll help you feel much better about life in general. So some of the supplements that I wrote down that would really help an individual that's depressed are St. John's wort, 5-HTP, melatonin, multivitamins, because they have many key ingredients that help in daily functions, vital organ functions. If some of your organs are not working at its capacity, working at what they should be, then that can cause confusion. It can cause depression. It can cause anxiety and feelings of just like negative feelings, negative feelings that you get in your mind. And also omega-3s are very, very important. Fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids are very important in actually your brain health. So I hope you guys can take something away from this video and use some of the tactics that I've talked about to help you in your journey. And I wish you guys lots of health, lots of happiness, abundance, and love. Peace.